Let's talk about how to fill your new DIY Stellar ink pad. The DIY Stellar ink pads are a custom blend ink pad, so they come completely empty. This is that brand new Stellar ink foam. So it's a really great surface that's going to disperse the ink once you apply it inside of here. But having it blank allows you to fill it up with whatever color or colors you want to. In this instance, there's some colors from the Simon Hurley Create dye ink line that are being retired. So if you want to bring these colors over into the new Stellar ink foam pads, you can use these re-inkers to re-ink this brand new ink pad. So here I'm going to use the Sidewalk Chuck color, which is this beautiful, really light lavender color. Any of the Simon Hurley or Stellar re-inkers have kind of a sharp point to it, so you do want to be careful when you're applying this down to the Stellar ink foam. Just kind of glide it over top of the surface, not really applying any pressure down because you don't want to rip the foam. Now you'll notice with this new Stellar ink pad, it is kind of sitting right on top of the surface and it doesn't want to sink in. That's because there's no ink in here yet. It's not really prepped to take the ink. So you can go in with a little squeegee or a used gift card, or in this case, I'm using the Simon Hurley scraper from the Paste tool set. And I'm just gonna go in here and really gently, using just the side of the scraper, kind of going to push this ink down into the ink pad. So you'll see I'm just gonna kind of apply just a slight little bit of pressure, just barely, and just kind of push this ink around on the pad until it starts going into the ink pad, just like this. And you might even want to start with even less than I did and just kind of start applying this into here. And you'll notice that it starts sinking in once you kind of give it a little bit of pressure and start to push that ink inside of there. All right, then I'll bring back in that re-inker. And you'll notice in the areas where it's already taken some of that ink, it starts to kind of sink in a little bit more, but we're wanting to cover the whole ink pad here. So we'll just apply a little bit more all over. And then again, just use our little scraper tool to help the ink get into that foam a little bit more. And once you've got that initial ink into the foam, it's a lot easier for this layer to get it in. And then maybe I'd say let's do this one more time just to make sure the ink pad is nice and full of ink. All right, then let's ink up a stamp with our brand new ink pad. Stamp it down. Perfect. And from here, you can decide if your ink pad is too juicy or if you like how it's stamped out. Mind you, if you think the ink pad is too juicy, you can always blot it off just slightly off to the side. That way it'll have slightly less ink next time you're ready to stamp with it. And of course, if you want more ink, you'll just re-ink the ink pad again until you have it to your liking. And once that Sidewalk Chalk color dries down, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now also note that this ink pad lid is made out of a special material that actually takes the ink. So we can just take our ink pad then and slide our ink pad right across the surface to color this top of the ink pad lid right in. That way we'll know exactly what color this is when we're ready to stamp with it. Keep in mind, the ink doesn't sink right into the surface. You have to give it just a little bit of time. And once a lot of it has sunk in, I tend to just kind of dab off the rest of the excess ink on the surface, and then it stains that white area of the ink pad really nicely. And then you can grab a permanent pen and write the color name in the open area right down here. And there we've created our very own DIY Stellar ink pad with that great foam ink pad. So you can bring some of the colors that were in the Simon Hurley line that are being retired into the Stellar ink brand new beautiful ink pad.